The main character finally touches down in Lahai-Roi, thanks to the massive effort from the Black Shore's crew. It is giving major protagonist energy because they stabilized a one-way tunnel just for this specific arrival. The coordinates are locked in relative to Hanami City, and the whole situation feels like the start of a very expensive sci-fi movie where the hero has finally returned to save the timeline. We are getting a serious lore dump about the region, and it is kind of terrifying. Unlike other places that have a sentinel to guide them, Lahai-Roi is basically running on survival mode in a forsaken frostland. The Space Trek Collective discovered it, but there is this massive monster called the Thronodian lurking in the shadows, causing void storms that literally delete people, which is a major red flag for anyone trying to live there. The theme of this trip is officially back to school, which is hilarious considering the danger level. The paperwork for Startorch Academy is sorted, and the protagonist has an acceptance letter that actually belonged to their past self. It is wildly nostalgic, but also kind of suspicious that old credentials still work. The mentor figure is sending them off with 0 contact allowed, which definitely sounds like setting up a dramatic reunion later. The emotional goodbye is happening, and everyone is trying to act tough, but you can tell they are feeling it. The tunnel is only wide enough for one person, so it is a solo mission from here on out. Rover promises to visit during holidays, which is the classic thing people say before getting swept up in a chaotic adventure. Shorekeeper is watching them leave with that knowing look, totally confident that the protagonist is going to crush it at the academy. Just when things were looking peaceful, a literal void worm decides to crash the party, which is honestly so rude and disrespectful to the new student. Thankfully, this girl named Linnae pulls up with impeccable timing and main character reflexes to save the day. She is absolutely serving protector vibes, instantly checking if everyone is okay before realizing they need to escape the giant space bug immediately because it is carrying some nasty frequency. Lynae identifies the monster and realizes it has the Thronodian's frequency, which essentially means it is boss-level dangerous. She is clearly not new to this and decides now is not the time for a 1v1 showdown. The plan is to book it to the academy because the school has a defensive barrier that acts like a safe zone. It is a high-speed chase scene, and the tension is through the roof as they try to outrun the worm. They finally make it to safety, and the Startorch Academy reveal is breathtaking, totally exceeding expectations. Linnae introduces herself properly as a fellow student, but she is acting a little sketchy about why she was out in the danger zone. She tries to play it cool, but you can tell she is hiding something major. The chemistry is instantaneous, though, and she seems like the type of friend who would help you hide a body if necessary. They are getting the administrative stuff out of the way, registering the terminal at the resonance nexus. Linnae points out that the frequency fluctuation Hi there! If you want to enjoy more gaming lore without grinding for 60 hours, hit that subscribe button. I do the grinding so you don't have to. Your support really helps the channel. Linnae gets a call and immediately panics because she completely ghosted her group project, which is the most relatable student moment ever. She realizes she is about to get cooked by her professor for missing a deadline. She tries to juggle helping the new student and saving her own academic career, promising to meet up at the infirmary later. It is chaotic energy, but you have to respect the hustle of trying to do everything at once. There is a massive emotional beat as Chisa reveals she has reconnected with her family after being gone for over 20 years. It is a total tearjerker because, for her, it has been months. But for them, she was basically a ghost. The concept of lost time is heavy here, but she is determined to restart her life as a student. It is wholesome content that reminds everyone why they are fighting to protect this place. We are introduced to Nurse Nana, who has a very eccentric personality and seems to enjoy teasing Lynae a little too much. She immediately clocks that Lynae is trying to dodge class again, but shifts focus to the new student. Nana is super professional but has that chaotic energy that makes you wonder if you are safe in her care. She initiates a scan and realizes the protagonist has some minor scratches and frequency loss. Dr. Luke Herson steps in with some serious dad advice, lecturing them about charging into void storms without protection. He is worried about the students risking their lives for research data, which highlights the intense academic pressure at this school. He burns the cassette for the student, which is basically their ID and lifeline. His demeanor is calm and reassuring, making him the anchor amidst all the chaos happening on campus. Lynae gets caught skipping class again by a teacher, and it is hilarious to watch her try to talk her way out of it. She is on thin ice with her attendance, needing perfect scores to pass, which is a big mood. The teacher eventually lets it slide so Lynae can help the protagonist with enrollment. The bureaucracy of signing up for school while the world is ending is a funny contrast to the earlier action. It is time for the mandatory ID photo session, and the protagonist is trying to look sharp. The photographer thinks they need to show more personality, encouraging them to strike a pose. It is a light-hearted moment of normalcy, where they get to just be young and fun. The final picture turns out looking cool, solidifying their status as an official student of the Academy. It is a small victory before the plot ramps up again. They run into Mr. Sigma, the robot traffic enforcer who has zero chill about rules. He calls out Lynae for her 13 speeding incidents, effectively exposing her driving habits to everyone. The protagonist has to sign a safety pledge, which feels like a terms of service agreement that nobody actually reads. Sigma is trying so hard to keep order, but you know these students are going to break every single traffic law the moment he looks away. Lynae and the protagonist finally hit the road on their bikes, and the sense of freedom is palpable. Lynae reveals she modified her bike against regulations because she needs that extra speed. She talks about a senior who turned his bike into a tank, which just proves that STEM students with too much time on their hands are a danger to society. The joyride is a bonding moment where they connect over the thrill of breaking the rules. This conversation gets surprisingly deep as Lynae opens up about what racing means to her. It is not just about speed, it is about having control over her own life under the artificial sky. She talks about how pure and driven everyone at the Academy is, chasing dreams of ending the Void Storm. It is a beautiful moment of vulnerability where she admits she never thought she would find a place like this, showing her appreciation for the community. The journey hits a snag with a train delay caused by an unexpected incident ahead. It is foreshadowing that something is wrong with the infrastructure. Lynae tries to play it cool, but you can tell she is alerting to the danger. They see the Space Collective structure floating along the track, which connects the Academy to the surface Frostlands. The world building here is top tier, showing how isolated yet advanced this civilization really is. Arriving at the Research Institute, things are chaotic with server racks glitching and researchers panicking about Void Storm readings. The protagonist needs to burn their cassette, but the tech is acting up. It is a classic case of technology failing right when you need it most. The researcher is stressed out of her mind, trying to manage the data overload, which feels very authentic to anyone who has ever worked in IT during a crisis. Professor Moria explains the grim reality of the cassettes. They store memories because the void storm can literally delete a person's existence. It is a heavy concept that adds stakes to everything they do. The protagonist resonates with a stored frequency, triggering a flashback, which suggests they have been here before. It is a mysterious plot point that hints at a forgotten past and a connection to the people who died protecting this place. There is a massive glitch during the burning process because the protagonist's frequency code matches a deleted file in the database. Professor Moria is confused because a perfect match is basically impossible unless they are the same person. It is a huge clue about the protagonist's identity, but they decide to overwrite the error for now. The mystery of who deleted the file and why leaves a lingering sense of unease in the air. We walk into a heated argument between professors about the new artificial sun project. One side wants to trust the mysterious Roya calculations, while the other is skeptical and wants to stick to the old plan. It is classic academic politics, but with the fate of the entire civilization at stake. The tension highlights how desperate they are to replace the dying sun and how much pressure is on the researchers to get it right this time. Professor Warren enters the chat and immediately starts acting suspicious, questioning the protagonist's background. He is digging for information about the Black Shores connection, and his vibe is extremely untrustworthy. He pretends to be polite, but the interrogation tactics are obvious. It feels like he is trying to catch them in a lie, setting him up as a potential antagonist or at least a major obstacle for the main characters. Professor Moria extends a personal invitation to the protagonist to attend the new solar ceremony. It is a significant gesture symbolizing their acceptance into this future-focused community. She wants them to witness humanity taking its first steps towards a new dawn. It is an inspiring moment that contrasts with the earlier cynicism, showing that despite the politics, there is genuine hope for a better future among the true believers at the Institute. Suddenly, everything goes sideways as a void storm triggers a lockdown and the FASA detector goes rogue. The system is compromised and everyone is trapped inside. The protagonist refuses to stay put and decides to break out to see what is happening. It is a high-stakes situation where the safety protocols actually make things more dangerous. They steal a vehicle to head towards the danger, proving they have zero survival instincts but maximum heroism. The protagonist arrives at the scene and finds Lynae fighting contaminated exoswarm. Lynae is moving different, showing off combat skills that are way too advanced for a normal student. She is aggressively clearing out the enemies, and it becomes clear she is hiding a dark side. The dialogue hints that she is being blackmailed by someone called the Liaison. It is the moment where her double life starts to crack under the pressure. Professor Warren corners Lynae and accuses her of sabotaging the detector. He is going full prosecutor mode, demanding an explanation for why she was there. Lynae tries to defend herself, but she looks guilty as charged. Warren is ready to expel her on the spot, using the confidentiality clause as a weapon. It is a tense standoff where authority is being weaponized against a student who is actually trying to help save the day. The protagonist steps up and gaslights the professors, claiming Lynae was with them the whole time. They suggest the security footage might have been tampered with, turning the accusation back on the faculty's incompetence. It is a bold move that buys Lynae some time. Warren is skeptical, but has to back down for now to investigate the system breach. This moment cements the bond between the protagonist and Lynae, proving they are ride or die. Lynae finally drops the mask, and honestly, The plot twist is insane because she admits she is actually a mercenary from the La Zone. She completely catfished the Academy to escape her dark past, which is kind of valid given how messed up her origins were. She just wanted a normal student life, but the imposter syndrome is hitting her way too hard right now. She asks the protagonist to keep her secret so she can stay. They decide to team up to find the real mole inside the Academy because the Fractsidus organization is clearly pulling the strings. Lynae realizes her old mercenary contact is threatening her new life, so she decides to go on the offensive. It is a shift from running away to fighting back. They agree to investigate the device that caused the malfunction, turning this school drama into a full-blown detective thriller. They locate a hidden sabotage device deep in the engineering department's database. Linnae uses her hacking skills to overwrite the permissions, stopping the bad guys from controlling it remotely. She admits she used to be a pro hacker, casually mentioning she could have done it faster in the past. It is a cool flex that shows just how overqualified she is for this school. They have neutralized the immediate threat, but the danger is far from over. They visit the archives to consult Iris, the AI, to identify some mystery waveforms found on the device. The AI is dealing with data leaks, but still manages to help narrow down the search. They discover that the villains are planning to use the device to lure a void worm to attack the Institute. It is a terrifying realization that the earlier malfunction was just a rehearsal for a massive terrorist attack on the school. Lynae comes up with a desperate backup plan to modify the device to amplify its signal, creating a stronger bait to lure the worm away from the school if it attacks. She knows this will expose her completely, but she is willing to take the fall to save everyone. It is a selfless act that proves she is more of a hero than any of the clean-cut students. She sends the protagonist away to warn the faculty while she prepares the trap. The protagonist rushes to Dr. Luke Herson to spill the tea about the pests inside the academy and the impending attack. They choose to trust the doctor because he seems like the only adult with a brain. The doctor plays it cool but agrees to handle the institute side of things. It is a smart strategic move to get the faculty prepared without causing a mass panic. The pieces are moving into place for the final showdown. Back in Linnae's dorm, the atmosphere is heavy with regret. She talks about how she never had a real home, just a bed and weapons. The academy was the first place she felt safe, but now she feels like she has to leave to protect it. She is packing her bags, ready to run away and disappear again. It is heartbreaking to see her give up on the happiness she found, convinced she doesn't deserve it because of her past. Suddenly, the alarm blares, and a massive void storm hits the campus way faster than predicted. The defense barrier is failing, and the void worm is charging straight for the academy. Lynae's escape plan is cancelled because she cannot walk away when her friends are in danger. She has a moment of clarity where she realizes running away is not the answer. She gears up, ready to face her destiny and fight for the place she loves. The protagonist and Lynae execute their crazy plan to lure the giant worm away from the school towards the defense arrays. They are literally racing a monster that can eat reality, which is the most metal thing ever. Lynae is driving like a maniac, using the modified device as bait. They have to manually activate the defense towers while being chased. It is pure adrenaline and chaos as they coordinate their movements to trap the beast. The chase sequence is intense, with Lynae drifting her bike to dodge attacks while the protagonist activates the arrays. They are splitting up to cover more ground, trusting each other completely. The worm is relineatless, destroying everything in its path. Lynae's device is burning through energy, putting her at risk, but she refuses to slow down. It is the ultimate test of their skills and their bond, fighting against impossible odds to save their school. They finally manage to sink the defense arrays, creating a trap that locks the Void Worm in place. The protagonist delivers the final blow to the contaminated mechs, while Lynae secures the perimeter. The containment field activates, neutralizing the threat just seconds before it could reach the Academy. They collapse, exhausted but victorious. It is a massive win, proving that a mercenary and an outsider can save the world better than the actual authorities. In the aftermath, the Academy exposes Lynae's true identity, and she is technically expelled for falsifying documents. However, the faculty admits they owe her everything. Instead of sending her to jail, they offer her a deal: pass the entrance exam and enroll as her true self. It is a wholesome twist that rewards her bravery. She has to start over as a freshman, but this time she doesn't have to hide who she is. Lynae is now a campus celebrity, known as the Dark Thunderbolt, which is a cringe but cool nickname. Students are asking for her autograph, and she is suffering from success. She is studying for the entrance exam, complaining about homework but secretly loving every second of it. She has finally shed the weight of her past and is ready to live a normal life. The imposter syndrome is gone, replaced by genuine confidence. The story wraps up with Lynae looking forward to the future. She is no longer running from ghosts or looking over her shoulder. She thanks the protagonist for trusting her when no one else would. They make plans to grab food at the cafeteria once she is officially enrolled again. It is the perfect happy ending, leaving the vibes immaculate and the future looking bright for everyone at Startorch Academy. Gaming lore is long and confusing, but I break it down every week. Subscribe so you never miss a plot twist or hidden detail. Thanks for watching.